We want to compute the check cohomology of the projective line. In fact, we will put two different sheaves on it. So say x is the projective line, and this x is covered by two open sets. u0 is d plus x and u1 is d plus y. So this notation you can find on page 76 of Hartshorne. Or you can simply say it is covered by affine lines y and x. So standard covering of projective line. Now, so you have two sets, u0 and u1. So you set this calligraphic u as union of u0 and u1. And now you put some sheaf on it. So we are not specifying the sheaf as yet. We are going to put two different sheaves and they will give us two different results for check cohomology. But right now you just put any sheaf on two sets, u0 and u1. So if you put on something like this, this is what you will get for just some space like this. So this is your complex will look like. So this is our C0, C1, C2 and C3 and so on are all zeros. So you can immediately say that for 2 and higher you will just get zeros. So your cohomology groups for 2 and higher are just zeros. So this HI for this space U union of U0 and U1, put a sheaf on it as 0 for I greater or equal to 2. But we have to calculate two spaces or two groups, H0 and H1. So this we have to compute. So here elements A and B, so you will write it as A comma B. This gets mapped to A minus B. So your standard check complex. So now we want to put two different sheaves. So the first sheaf we put is proj of k x comma y. So again you can find this on page 76 of Hartshorne about this sheaf. So they are standard open sets, this and this. So this means essentially homogeneous polynomials. And the intersection is d plus xy. So here x is not 0, here y is not 0, here both x and y are not 0. And this is our complex. C0 looks like this, precisely copied from here, and C1 looks like this. So on U0 you will have kxy localized at x. So this bracket means that these are degree 0 fractions. So again on page 76 you can find the details of these localizations. So if you already know, then you can see that this piece corresponds to d plus x, so you localize it at x. This piece corresponds to d plus y, so you localize with respect to y, and these are in brackets because we have homogeneous fractions here. And C1 is just the intersection, so this is xy, so you localize your ring at xy. So kxy, your ring localized here. So this is your complex. So your complex looks like this: 0, this part comes right here, and then this part comes right here, and then you have this map D. So you already know what this will do is you'll take a polynomial here P and Q, and it will map to P minus Q as in a standard check complex. So we want to discuss two things. To compute H0 and H1, we want to know the image of the map and the kernel of the map, because here everything is getting mapped to 0. So H1 would basically consist of this entire module kxy localized at xy, and you modulo out the image of D. For H0, because 0 is coming in for H0, you just have to talk about kernel of D, because it's kernel over image of the previous map. The previous map is just 0, so just kernel of D. So we have to study two things. We have to study image of D and we have to study kernel of D, and that will give us the first cohomology group here, and this will give us the 0th cohomology group here. So again D takes P by Q to P minus Q. So say P is some polynomial like this, f over x d0. As we said that this consists of fractions f over g, where f and g have the same degree. So it is f over x d0, q is g over y d1. Obviously degree of f is d0, degree of g is d1. So degree of f is d0, degree of g is d1. So that is precisely what these brackets here mean for localization, that you have numerator and denominator. Denominator degree is equal to numerator degree, and the denominators come from these x's. Now what is kernel of D? So your map is P and Q going to P minus Q. So you have to have P equals to Q. We want P minus Q to be 0 for the kernel. So that means P is equal to Q. So that is what we have to show. So we have to have kernel consists of elements where P is equal to Q. That is f by x d0 is equal to g by y d1. Now cross multiply, take y here and take x right here. So f y d1 is equal to g x d0. Now since we are working in a unique factorization domain, you can see that x d0 should divide f. So we should have, so x d0 should divide f because we are in a UFD, and y d1 should divide g. So that means f is of the form a x d0 and g is of the form b y d1. Now you take this back in here, p, plug it in p, you get p equals to a, and you take this and you plug it in right here, you get q is equal to b. So you get p equals to q if you have a equals to b. And what are these a and b? So a and b are just some scalars. They lie in k, where k is this part precisely. So you get this is equal to kernel of D, which is just k, which is a equals to b. So you get k. So now you have the h0 is k. So h0 means global sections. So global sections on P1, if you consider this sheaf proj of kxy are constants. So we have proven that global sections are constant for this sheaf proj kxy. That is, if you consider homogeneous polynomials from kxy, your global sections are just these k's, that constants. Now we talk about the image of D. So we will show that this image of D is same as this part. So this is same as image of D. So that will give you that h1 is just 0. So we have to show the surjectivity so that we have h1 is just 0. So the denominator is same as the numerator. Now first notice that image of D is generated by obviously P and Q. So it is generated by elements of kx, this and y, and it lies in this. So you're taking elements from here and here, and it ends up lying in here. So you pick up any element in here. So any element here is again a homogeneous polynomial. So it will be of the form e over x y d. So we are going to consider monomials here. So f was a monomial, g was a monomial. You can consider this as monomials because you can anyway extend it to the entire polynomial by linearity. So you just consider one term at a time. So monomial means you're just considering one term at a time. So you just consider one term in the polynomial. So pick r, which is e over xy by d. With e is a monomial and degree of e is 2d. Obviously degree of x is d, degree of y is d. D plus d will give you 2d. So numerator has to be the same degree as the denominator. So the degree of e would be 2d. So thus e is of the form something like this, xm yn, where m plus n is 2d. Now either m is greater or equal to d or n is greater or equal to d. So say you pick the second case, n is greater or equal to d. So then what does r look like? So this is your e part, e over x d y d. So now you take this above because n is greater than d. So you have n minus d xm xd. But now see, this lies in this part right here. So this r is coming from here for n greater or equal to d. Now if m was greater or equal to d, then you will delete from x, your r will become something like this, x to the power of m minus d, y to the power of n divided by y to the power of d. And this obviously would come from kxy. Now localize that y. So denominator is y right here. So all your terms are coming from this. So image of D basically generates this entire thing, because any r which lies in our kxy here, it comes either from this first term or it comes from this second term. So we have a surjective map, and therefore h1 is 0. So now we will put a sheaf of differential forms on this projective line and see what is the answer. So now we put the sheaf of differentials on projective this line. So O of x is this omega p1k. So that is, you're putting sheaf of differentials. So you have an open covering. So u0 a1 is covered by x, u1 says covered by y, and you have this transition function. So if you consider p1 as a manifold, you have this transition function y equals to 1 by x. So this is how your sheaf would look like. So this corresponds to 0 part, this corresponds to 1 part. So this is your ox of u0, say ox of u1, and this is your intersection part right here. And again, as ab gets mapped to a minus b, you have f and g getting mapped to f minus g right here. But this map D also acts like a derivative. So because you have sheaf of differentials, so takes x to x, y to 1 by x. So that is this x to x, this y to 1 by x, transition function. It takes dy, so dy here, to minus 1 by x square, and it takes obviously dx to 1. So because d by dx of x is 1, so that is it. So this is all our map. So standard differentiation. Now you take these functions f and g. So you have f dx and g dy here. This will get mapped to f minus g right here, as you have here. Now the first thing we want to discuss is the kernel of the map. So obviously we want to talk about two things. We want to talk about kernel of D and image of D. So kernel of D will give you h0. So h0 is kernel of D, and you have to modulo out this 0 part out of it, but 0 will give you nothing. So you just have kernel of D. Whereas for h1, you will have this entire term here, that is kx 1 by x dx, and then you modulo out image of D. So we have to study these two maps. So kernel is precisely this equals to 0, that is f dx is equal to g dy. So you have fx, so dx, as I told you, is just 1, gets mapped to 1. So fx dx means this is times 1. So this is your dx part, and gy dy. So this is your y, as you can see from here, and this is your dy part, comes from right here. So this is like this. Now you have a polynomial here, you have a polynomial here. Here the polynomial is in 1 by x, here the polynomial is in x. So this can only happen when f and g are both 0. So if you have zeros in the kernel, h0 is just 0. So this is nothing but kernel of D, which just consists of zeros, because you cannot have equality here unless f is also 0 and g is also 0, because they are both polynomials. This is polynomial in x and this is polynomial in 1 by x. Now we talk about image of D. So again, image of D is fx minus gy, dx here, dy here. So you just copy this down. Fx dx is 1, comes here. This negative sign right here cancels with this negative sign. So you get plus 1 by x square g 1 by x dx. Now this will generate all polynomials in kx 1 by x dx. So all kind of polynomials which are in here will be generated by this. So either they are in x, it will be generated by f of x. If they are of the form 1 by x, they will be generated by g 1 by x. The only problem is that you are dividing this by x square. So since you are dividing this by x square, you cannot generate polynomials like this 1 by x dx. So if this x square was not there, then g1 by x, which is say just 1 by x, would have generated this polynomial, but you're dividing by x square, so you're skipping these, and so these are the ones which is precisely corresponding to k. So basically it means that we are generating everything in this, but when you modulo out your image, you are just left with these polynomials 1 by x dx, and this corresponds to k, because you can put any scalar here in the numerator. So you keep changing scalars, so this will keep changing. So how many of these are there? Exactly the number of scalars you can put in the numerator, and the number of scalars you can put in the numerator is precisely this k. So notice that here h1 is k and h0 is 0. In the previous sheaf we saw that h0 was k and h1 was 0. So check cohomology depends upon the sheaf you put on your space. You start with the space and you put two different sheaves on it, which give you two different results, and that's how you can study this projective space, is by putting different sheaves on it and seeing what kind of cohomology groups you get and what is the relation between different cohomology groups. So relation between cohomology groups which come from different sheaves but they're acting on the same space.